The potential and the efficiencies of algae are so much greater than other biomass sources. Right now we have about 80 million acres of soybeans planted in the United States every year. 40 million acres of algae, with relatively conservative estimates of their yields of oil, could produce all of the fuel we need. All of the fuel. My relationship with the sea goes all the way back to my childhood when I grew up fishing and sailing and boating and surfing. We have a wonderful planet here, whether it's the ocean or the forest, in the natural spaces, the biodiversity. And so I think we really have to find the most efficient forms of creating what we need, like fuel, in order to minimize the human impact on the environment. Algae differs from other sources of biofuels primarily because it can grow and have such high yields in area and time compared to any terrestrial crop. The types of oils that can be produced by algae are similar to other vegetable oils. It's just that algae can produce 5 to 10 times more per acre per year. It'll be far more efficient than any other biomass source in terms of time and space. It will have less impact on biodiversity because you won't be occupying as much land. They don't need fresh water, so we don't have to worry about sources of fresh water. So all of these are really compelling drivers for why algae should be pursued. Any possible strain of a crop, whether it's corn or wheat, has to get evaluated. It'll be no different for algae. We have to first find the candidates and then we have to evaluate them. And so what I do in my laboratory is I evaluate the performance of algae strains with respect to the different things that regulate their growth. I'm not sure if the calibration is working properly. Can you reset the pH on that one to 9.5? The oil industry is already on board with this. They've been studying it. Between private sector and governments globally, there's hundreds of millions a year going into algae. Aircraft flight, jet engines, nuclear power, all of these things have had huge public investment on the front end before they were transformative for the private sector economy. You're not going to suddenly sprout 40 million acres of algae in the United States. But I would say 10 to 15 years, there will be regional places where the biomass is being produced and refined and turned into fuel. Algae oil, with a small extra cost, about 15–20% more cost to refine it compared to petroleum, can be turned into a drop-in replacement for jet fuel, diesel, and gasoline as well. It's not like hydrogen economy where completely new infrastructure needs to be invented. It's not like solar or wind where you have to install a huge transmission infrastructure. We can use existing refinery facilities. We haven't discovered those 5 or 10 or 20 algae yet that are going to be the ones. We have to discover them. Then we have to engineer systems that optimize how they grow. We're not there yet. But can we get there? Absolutely. If we could go to the moon in 6 years, from 1963 to 1969, trust me, humans can engineer this. This is not a difficult engineering problem. We just have to be committed to it.